As we prepare for service, let's hold a moment of thought and prayer as we gather together in light and love. Thank you, God, Mahalo Keakua, for the blessings this day may bring. And help us to spread it to the world in unity and blessing from Kona, Hawaii. And so it is. Amen. Please ask you to shut your phones down so we don't have disruptions as we now prepare for service. Mahalo. Cool. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my ka iki mai luna mai. Ona mea huna no. Awe mele. Oh my. Oh my. Ho mai, ho mai ka iki mai luna mai, ona mea huna no, awe mele, ho mai, ho mai, ho mai, ho mai ka iki mai luna mai, ona mea huna no, awe mele. Kakaiaka e koma mai. Good morning and welcome. Welcome to Unity of Kona as we broadcast live, Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're coming from. We'd like to say welcome to Hawaii as we share a little bit of the unity here in Kailua Kona. What an honor it is to share, starting the service with a prayer chant, the E O Mai. The beseeching of the Great Spirit and our ancestors with the E O Mai. And with this, we ask for the wisdom within the story. The stories being told have a reason for being told. Why would we be telling these stories to our children? And the highest octave, oh, Great Spirit and ancestors, grant us the wisdom of this life experience so that we don't have to repeat them over and over again with that knowledge. So the beautiful prayer chant, the E O Mai. And an honor it is to be here with you on this Sunday morning. My name is Jim Carey, and I'm standing and statements. Our affirmation this month is empowering, living, standing in integrity and authenticity. Together, I create a win-win situations and stand empowered in my truth. And so it is. Here at Unity, we come together with a vision, a world family of oneness, peace, and love, with our mission to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, prayer, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. And while I've got everybody standing, we're going to have some singers come on board, and we'll do our opening song this morning, which is One Big Family. Words will be on the board. Sing along with us, my friends. that too. There we go.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded of who we've come to be. We are love, we are one. One big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Woohoo! Thank you. And while we got everybody standing, let's take a moment and greet one another in the sanctuary. It's been a week since we'd seen y'all. So let's take just a moment. And if you're joining us online, it's time to leave a little comment in the comment section on the Facebook, YouTube, wherever you're watching from. And so we can greet everybody formally in just a moment. Thank you. Okay, she didn't give me that. Whoa, what a great time. We always like these moments of fellowship. Don't forget to join us upstairs after service as we have some refreshments and a little bit of food to snack on. Always wonderful to get everybody together on a beautiful Sunday morning here in Kailua Kona, and what an honor it is to be here in beautiful Hawaii. So now it's time in the service. We'd like to welcome our guests and visitors. And so, yeah, we got somebody here that's new. If you'd like to please stand and give your name and where you're from. Katie and Malachi. So welcome to Kailua Kona. Aloha. And if you're joining us online first time, or even if it's not, we'd like to send it out with a great big aloha. And God bless you. Thank you for joining us, Katie and Malachi, this morning, as well as everybody online. And of course, again, the refreshments upstairs. And in the announcements that we'll move through, I have first and foremost, we are a prayer ministry. We have the prayer request forms. Look something like this in the back of the sanctuary. Drop it in that box, and our chaplains pray over them, and then we'll send them on to Silent Unity. Silent Unity is in Lee Summit, Missouri, and for an additional 30 days of continuous prayer, you can also download the free app. The app is called Be Unity. With the Be Unity app on your phone, you get instant connection to prayer, meditations, as well as due to many other inspirational meditative videos and hundreds of articles. And so utilizing the power of prayer tenfold when two or more. And we got the whole Unity Village and Unity congregations around the country all praying together. These prayers are definitely multiplied. And so utilizing that power of prayer. And so now I have asked Elaine to come up and do a few more announcements for us. Thank you. Give her a hand. Thank you.
Actually, there's not a few, there's a lot. So bear with me. Congratulations, Diana. She's the team member of the month this month. Mahalo, Diana, for your loving service and devotion to our ministry. She didn't want me to read this, but I'm going to read this. It would be easier to list the things that Diana doesn't do for Unity than to list all the things she does, lovingly fulfills for Unity. She's a volunteer. She's our volunteer office manager, and that's practically a full-time position. She brings food for the fellowship potlucks. She works during circulation day, plus helps set up and tear down. She takes charge of the decorating during every season and event, and she keeps the rest of Unity leadership on our toes 24/7. We love you, Diana. Thanks for you are a bright and shining light, and we are grateful for your spirit of aloha. Okay, today at noon, we have our crystal healing session with Denise, and we hope you all can stay and join us after the fellowship. Clyde facilitates the weekly Qigong class on Monday mornings from 8 to 8:45 at the Old Kona Airport, State Beach Park. As soon as you go through the gate, it's the first beach on the left. And the ukulele Kanakapila jam session is canceled for tomorrow. Dondi's off island, and it will resume next Monday. Join us for an evening of self-healing meditation discovery facilitated by Sean this Tuesday, October 15th from 6:30 to 7:30. Reverend Sophia facilitates the midweek mindfulness on Wednesdays from 6 to 7 by Zoom. This week's virtual gathering, this is a weekly virtual gathering for Unity members and like-minded individuals to engage in prayer support, meditation, and conversation to uplift your spirit. The Zoom link is posted upstairs on the bulletin board as well as in the newsletter and on Facebook. Doc Holliday's memorial service is scheduled for this Thursday, October 17th at 11 a.m. at the Veterans Cemetery, and his celebration of life will be at the Elks Club following at 2 p.m. We're looking for volunteers to help with greeting, serving food, and other tasks. There's a sign-up sheet being passed around. Jim's passing it around right now, to add your name and phone number if you are able to assist in any way. Mahalo. If you have questions, ask Mamie. Back there. Some of our Ohana are in need of food items at this time. Please bring food that does not require refrigeration and not much cooking, such as canned and packaged dry foods, canned foods and packaged dry foods. The box at the top of the stairs labeled Hawaii Food Basket is being used to collect these items. A mahalo for your generosity. As you know, it takes a village to run our spiritual center, and we appreciate everyone. Kindly consider supporting Unity of Kona by becoming a contributor and sharing your time, talent, and treasure. There are several sign-up sheets at the back of the sanctuary for your consideration, along with a refreshment sign-up sheet for the snacks, for our potluck snacks upstairs on the bulletin board. Family caregivers in Kona are invited to Caregiving Connection at the Kona Library. This free series of talks from local experts discusses caregiving concerns and is open to the whole community. On Saturday, October 19th at 10 a.m., Karen Clem, RN, will present Getting the Most from Your Doctor's Visit. There's also a flyer upstairs on the bulletin board if you need more information. And don't sweat it, shred it. There's a free shred day on Thursday, 2 days, October 17th and Friday, October 18th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. or until all bins have reached full capacity. It's at the Coloco Family Facility parking lot. Limit 5 banker-sized boxes per person. Documents only, no CDs, DVDs, acrylic pockets, binders, etc. It's sponsored by Hawaii Community Federal Credit Union. We're remembering James Avinger, who recently transitioned on his next spiritual journey. James was a cherished part of our Unity of Kona family, and his presence, kindness, and spirit will be deeply missed. We extend our heartfelt prayers and unwavering support to Cindy and their families and loved ones during this time. Please join us as we hold them all in the light, affirming that God's love and peace are with them now and always. His celebration of life info will be provided at a later date. That's it.
Mahalo nui loa. Thank you, Elaine. We appreciate you so much and your time and treasures and talents. She does a lot around here, too. And so now is the time in the service where we'll relax. Take a deep breath and visualize the sanctuary. Plant your feet firmly on the ground and take a nice deep breath as we visualize the beautiful sanctuary as a beautiful heart. Now you can feel that loving energy of those around you. Feel it flowing in and through you. See that loving energy flowing around every person in this sanctuary. And then expanding, spreading out to every being on this earth and in this world. And now, if there are any events or circumstances in your life, or anyone you know in need of prayer, let's take a moment and see them in what we've just created, this most beautiful, loving heart. And as our thoughts are prayers, we know that God hears them all. Mahalo ke akua. And as we come together, let's do together our prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I go, God is, and all is well. Thank you, God. Mahalo ke akua. And we have special Empower music with some going on here today, and so we have a little music time for us. I'm sorry. Oh, the Daily Word. Oh, my gosh, I forgot the Daily Word. We need a daily word. I've asked Rebecca to come up and do our daily word for us today. Thank you, Rebecca.
So today's focus is belong. As spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God. A true sense of belonging is one of the best feelings in the world. It's knowing I am at home, fully accepted just as I am, and valued for my unique contributions. Today, I celebrate my belonging as a divine being, a child of God. No matter my station in life, my personal history, or my particular circumstances, I am a valued member of the human family. I extend this understanding to all others. I look beyond appearances and even my own preconceived notions to see my fellow divine beings. I honor their unique gifts just as I would want them to honor mine. We belong together. We belong to one another. We all belong in the family of God. And from John 17, verses 20 to 21, I ask not only on behalf of these, but also on behalf of those who will believe in me through their word, that they may all be one. And our affirmation is, as spiritual beings, we all belong in the heart of God.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Rebecca. And so it is, Mahalo Keakua. And now we'll have some nice music with Empower and some video presentation that Kayla put together with the music. So thank you, Kayla, for putting this together. Technical things. All right, we got you. Do a dance? I can talk a story. Here we go.
I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes. A light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. You're here to be the one. You're here to make it fun. You've really got my head spinning. You brighten every room. You always leave too soon, and this is just the beginning. Oh, I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes. Oh, you are a shining star. I know who you really are. You are incredible, so unforgettable, the one that everyone's eyeing. You are an awesome friend, and so magnificent, and there is just no denying. I know who you're here to be. I see it in your eyes. A light for the world to see. I know who you're here to be. I know who you really are. I see it in your eyes.
Thank you. That was amazing, Kayla. Great job. And so now is the time in the service. We'll get to our meditation and message. And I'd like to introduce our president of the board and working forward with all kinds of stuff. This lady does it all, Kayla Harvey. So please welcome Kayla. She's doing her talk today on being the resolution. There you go.
All right. Before we get into our message today, we're going to do a brief meditation. So if everyone will just find yourself a comfortable spot. Close your eyes and settle into your breath. Breathing deeply, feeling the peace of this moment. You take a moment to connect with your heart center. Just breathe into this space. Gently bring your mind to something in life or the greater world that you would like to change or enhance. Something you feel could be more aligned with your highest good or the good for all. Let this area of desire for change be illuminated and come to your full awareness without judgment. See this as an opportunity, remembering that you are divinely equipped for transformation. Spirit has called you to this moment, empowering you to create the world that you envision. What you wish to enhance is not an obstacle, but an invitation to co-create with the divine. Feel into this invitation as it's beckoning you to be a part of the change. Listen in now for your part. Listen for that invitation and feel the yes in your body to accept. Breathe deeply and ask, what is my part? Listen carefully for that whisper of guidance within. You are a vessel of divine power, perfectly capable of stepping into a new state of action and resolution. Feel the empowerment as you embody this shift. Notice how your energy claims this and how it changes as you take on the role of co-creator with Spirit. Know that you are always supported. You are divinely called and perfectly prepared for that which is yours to do. Know that you walk hand in hand with Spirit as you act in faith. Take one more deep breath here. And as you slowly return, carry with you this divine knowing that you are capable of creating changes you seek. When you're ready, open your eyes, wiggle your fingers and toes, and come back into this space together with that empowerment. Welcome back, everyone. I would like to see a show of hands. Raise your hand if you'd like something to be different. It could be anything, something in your world, your finances, the political system, Anything. I'm seeing everybody's hand up. Yeah, okay, good, great. I think that's a great thing. Because in knowing that we'd like something different, we are seeking betterment and growth. Change and seeing something you want is a great opportunity. And that's what we're being invited to. We are being invited with this last commitment. Those of you who've been here know that we've been looking at a book, The 15 Commitments of Conscious Leadership, Conscious Living. We are on our last one. They all build, and all of them are independently awesome, but we are being invited today. And everything is an invitation, right? Because you can choose to accept it or not. We're invited to a new level of personal responsibility. And if that sounds too heavy, personal empowerment. I like that one. To see the things we'd like to be different in the world and to be the resolution. This is the invitation we are being asked of today. That there is not only a lot in the world that could change, but that we possess a lot within us to be a part of that change. So that's exactly what this chapter is on, being the resolution. And now we're going to talk all about what that means, but I like to get really clear about wording. So I was looking into what does resolution mean? And the root of this is resolve. So what are we talking about when we resolve things? There are several parts here I found. Resolving takes a choosing. It takes some action. It involves a solving and a settling. We are choosing to take something on. It's like when we make a resolution for our new year. If you do that, you're choosing to take on a mission. It's an action. Even if the action is subtle, even if it's within our own mind, it is an action, a doing, as part of a process. It's also a solving or an answering of what we perceive as problems, challenges. And through all of this, it is a complete settling of the mind, resolving a thought-based challenge. Now, to do all of this, we are first asked to identify what is it that's missing. Before we change anything, we need to know what we want to change. What could be better? What could be better than what it is right now? So we are identifying what's missing and seeing what could be enhanced. Not so much looking at it as a lack, but as an opportunity. And an opportunity for us to step into and respond to that need. See, when we see something, we are invited to contribute. If you're seeing it, if you're the one that can identify it, you're probably someone that could have a part in it. So I'm inviting you this time to see challenges and reframe them as personal calls. Is it a call directly to you? And are you being asked to pick up the phone? See, it's really powerful when we can take a problem we see outside of us and instead see it as a growth opportunity for us to be a part of something transformative. We all come here with special gifts, and each of us has unique gifts that we've either come in with or have acquired. And it takes each and every one of us being here now to create the world we're in. I have special gifts. There are things that I'm really good at and I love to do. I am incredibly and inherently curious about human beings. I want to know what makes us tick. I want to know what you think and feel, how it became that way. I like to be super creative, think outside the box. I get excited about potential. All of these things are special to me, and they create invitations that are only for me, for the things that I bring to the table and enjoy doing. Each and every one of you has special gifts, special talents, things that make you important in this world, to why you're here now. We've talked before about our ikigai, and that's this concept that there is an interplay, a special thing just for you that is a combination of things you love, things that are needed in the world, the way in which you can make money, and I'd like to reframe that as the roles available in the world today, and the skills that you have. The combination of all of those, that intersection there, is your ikigai, the special thing for you to do. We all have an ikigai because we are all called uniquely for something in this world. Big things, small things, subtle things, not so subtle things. We are all called. And so when you think of that challenge, that thing you would like to change in the world, what is it that's needed? What is it that's needed? And how do you uniquely fill that gap? Based on your passions, based on what you saw, based on the roles and the skills that you have. There might be something in there for you specifically. So we're invited to stop waiting for external change and instead become the change we'd like to see. It can take us from that passive observer to the active creator. Now, what happens when we don't do this? What's the alternative? If I don't want to commit to being the resolution, which, okay, yeah. What do we do instead? Well, oftentimes we wait. And while we wait, we get frustrated and we're disempowered. If we don't feel we have any part in the resolution of the things we don't like, we end up oftentimes blaming. We externalize, and instead of responding, we react. And when we feel we don't have any power, we often react with apathy. We act as though we don't care because we can't care because caring isn't working in our mind. Or we act out of resentment, frustration. Now, not acting in some way keeps us safe from disappointment or perceived further disappointment, let's be honest. And we try to keep ourselves safe from the ideas of failure. So when we don't act, we think we're protecting ourselves. But really, we end up staying in a victim mentality, and we're kind of just stuck with the problem until the problem itself moves. I don't know about you, I don't enjoy giving my power away. Sometimes I like to wallow just for a moment. Let's be honest, we all like to wallow just a little bit. And then I get bored. I get bored of that, and I'd like something different. I really mean it. So when we decide I might have a role, even if my role is to be the seed, or to be the water, or to be the soil, whatever my role is in creating that next growth, when I recognize my role, suddenly I've gotten my power back. So we're here to ask ourselves now, what am I willing to do? What is mine in creating the resolution that I want? Can you imagine the impact in our world if every single person who saw a problem, instead of thought, who's going to fix that? Thought to themselves, what could I do? What just little tiny thing could I do to be a part of the solution I want? That's an empowering thought. And can you imagine if all of us asked ourselves that? We'd go to a place of strength instead of helplessness. Now, don't get me wrong, and I want to be very clear here. You are not responsible for fixing everything. That's not what we're saying. You are not responsible for fixing the economy. You are not responsible for fixing the environment or the political system or racism or anything like that. I'm not expecting you, or anyone is expecting you, to fix the whole of the problem. And it's so important for us to realize that we have an influence in everything around us by how we show up. You have an energetic part in everything you see. There is always a way for you to be in the world and make a difference. Now, most of us have probably heard this story before, but I like it because it's simple and it demonstrates what we're talking about here. The starfish story. There was an old man who used to go to the ocean before he did his writing. He had a habit of walking the beach every morning before he began his work. Early one morning, he was walking along the shore right after a really big storm, and he had found that the beach was littered with starfish as far as the eye could see. And it was so in both directions. It was a big sight to see. Off in the distance, the old man noticed a small boy, and he was walking towards him. And as the boy walked, he noticed that he paused every so often. And as he grew closer, he realized that he was occasionally bending down and picking up something and throwing it into the sea. And as the boy came closer still, the man called out, "Good morning! May I ask what you're doing?" The young boy paused, looked up, and he replied, "Throwing starfish into the ocean. The tide washed them up. They can't get into the sea by themselves," he replied. "When the sun gets too high, they'll die unless I throw them in." The man was overwhelmed by this thought. And he looked around and he said, "But there's like tens of thousands of them. I'm afraid you won't really make much of a difference." The boy just bent down and he picked up another one and he threw it into the ocean. And he said, "I made a difference for that one." He made a difference for that one. So no, we can't fix all of the problems. Not on a grand scale. But what you do does make a difference. Maybe not with everyone, but it may make a profound difference for one. And if you make a difference for one, that person is enlightened and can make a difference for another. The ripple effect is huge. Never underestimate what one small act of kindness can do. You can contribute to the solutions even if they're just giving your love. If you notice something, you are being called to do something small, something intentional. Maybe it's just a shift in your own energy. Maybe it's a willingness to talk to someone or offer support or just smile. You are a powerful being. And you can make a difference. I'm sure we can all think of times in which someone in our lives made a bigger difference than they could even imagine. A kind word was said to us in the right moment. A gesture of goodwill. Help when we really needed it. We've all received that, and we can all be that. In fact, I have a story. It's pretty simple, but it's the first one that came to mind when I thought of this. When I was in high school, I was in a marketing class, and we took a field trip to the Mall of America. It's in Minnesota. It was about a 3-hour drive. It was a big deal in Wisconsin. We thought it was super cool to go to the Mall of America. And we had like a presentation. They told us all about the mall and how they did the marketing and what it entailed. And then we got to go shopping. It was really fun, and I saved up, and I was so excited. And I was in a store that I couldn't access, where I lived. And I had put my purse on a display case, and I was down looking at sizes below, right? They have them stacked below. So I'm down there just rifling through the sizes. And as I stand up, I notice my purse is not there anymore. And I start to panic, and I can't think of where else it would be. And I start to get worried and freaked out, and I'm with my friend, and I'm saying, I don't see it. And people around me start noticing I'm in panic, and I see 2 kids run out the store. And I think, oh my God. My heart sinks at that moment, and I realize what has happened. My purse was stolen. And as a newly 16-year-old, that is my driver's license, my keys to my car, that is everything I own, and some sentimental items, including the money I had saved up. Everything was gone. I was totally freaked out. And what I was thinking in that moment is how awful human beings are. That humans are awful, terrible people. And how awful things happen because of humans. And I was so upset in that moment. And I'm crying, and there's nothing to be done about it. It's done. It is what it is. And then a woman comes up to me, a very motherly, sweet woman, and she just grabbed my hand, and she looked me in the eye, and she said, "Everything's going to be okay. It's going to be okay, honey." And she handed me $40, and she said, "It'll get better. It'll get better." And in that flash, she was gone. I didn't know her. I don't know where she came from. She didn't know me. She had no idea why I was there, what was happening. And it wasn't much, but it was a big deal for me. Because the exact moment I was thinking, people are trash, she said, "No, they're not. Not all of them. There are good people too. And it's going to be okay." And she was right. And so I don't know if she thinks about it today. She probably forgot all about that. But I didn't forget that. And that was really huge. So I didn't leave thinking how terrible people are. I left thinking how kind strangers can be and how beautiful one person can make a moment. Now, you don't have to give anybody money to be the solution. And it doesn't have to solve the whole thing. I still had to get a new driver's license. I still had to have new keys made. I still had to do all kinds of things when I got home. And I didn't go home with hate in my heart. There was a huge solving and repairing that happened in that one moment. We can be that moment, and it can make a big difference. So we are not separate from all the problems in our community. We are not separate because we are all one. And our energy is so necessary in what we experience. Even if it's not your problem, if you're involved by seeing it, your energy may be a part of it. So we can create a culture of empowerment if we start to think this way, start to act this way, and become the ripple effect. Imagine that transformation. If we could shift from frustration and division to collaboration and creation. So again, I'm not asking you to fix everything, but simply to remember, we'll wait on that one, remember your divine power and to see things as a calling for yourself and a challenge to bring out the best parts of you, to really engage your ikigai. Every challenge we see is actually an opportunity for our own spiritual growth. Something outside of you may be for you more than it is for the person experiencing that challenge. Now, to figure out which of these things do I step in on, what is mine to be done, we start to go within and connect with our body and experience what Catherine Hendricks calls our whole body yes. It's a concept I love and I have struggled with much of my life. But a whole body yes tells us absolutely this is for you. A whole body yes is a fully aligned body where your head, your heart, and your gut is all speaking at the same time, giving a thumbs up. So your head may see something and go, ooh, something needs to be done there. Ooh, wish I could help. The heart says, oh, I feel for that. I'm feeling something right now. And the gut says, ooh, I think that's for me. When they all speak to you, that's your whole body yes. Now, she says that everybody experiences this sensation in a different way. You need to connect with your own body, your own knowing, to what that signal might be. And there's going to be a difference between your yes, your big no, and your little no's. Now, Unity knows this concept, even if it hasn't stated it in so many words. In fact, Charles Fillmore, one of my favorite quotes from him we talk about, that he wrote when he was 93 years young, expresses his full body yes really well. He says, I fairly sizzle with zeal and enthusiasm and spring forth with a mighty faith to do that which is mine to do. So he's saying, when I know something is mine, I have so much zeal and enthusiasm, and I spring forth to do it. He knows it. And when you feel that, like, ooh, that's important to me, ooh, you know it's you, it's for you. Let's get used to feeling that. Check in with that. Even if you don't know what the answer is, even if you just feel called that there's something there for me, hear that. Because here's the thing. When we don't feel into that, there are costs. There are costs for not honoring your yeses and not honoring your no's. I've experienced these a lot. Still working on it. I think I unfortunately say yes when I have a little no. And I think that sometimes when I have a yes, I get a little afraid, and so I say no. And I think a lot of us can resemble those remarks. But this is how we know we've misstepped. If you're feeling resentment, if you've lost some vitality in your life, you feel kind of dead or numb, you're experiencing some FOMO, fear of missing out. You have a loss of purpose or creativity. When you find yourself breaking agreements more consistently, if you notice you have these sort of pseudo relationships, the depth isn't there, and if you feel some burnout, all of these are indications you haven't been listening to your body, either your yeses or your nos. And there's something to re-look at there. But it's great to know that. And we have to recognize that fear gets in our way sometimes, unfortunately. So when we are not honoring our whole body yes, there's one of two things that are happening. Either there's a lack of alignment, meaning you were supposed to say no, it's not for you, or there's fear getting in the way and we have an unwillingness, a resistance, if you will. It's important to figure out which one that is. They're not bad things, they're just speaking to us. And if we can face the unwillingness, the resistance, you can usually find that fear belief that's hidden in there, that's standing in the way. And the first step is just acknowledging it. And if that belief is really hard and really big, and you're having a hard time breaking away from this big belief, but you want to change and it's just so scary, then what you've seen is a need for more motivation. That's all. In fact, there's a great formula, a change formula, that actually isn't in the chapter that we're discussing. It's actually in the next chapter. I just was listening to it on Audible and it just kept going. And I was like, this change formula, hello? Yes, I think this is relevant. So the change formula is created by Richard Bacard and David Gulsher, and it's refined by Kathy Dan Miller. And it helps us determine when change is likely to occur. And I like it because you can reverse engineer and figure out, okay, if change is not occurring, what of these elements do I need to increase? So as we talk through this, think about that thing you wanted to change. Whether it was in your own life or the world, be thinking about what elements in this change formula might be needed. Now, when I looked at, there's a worksheet you can get on the website for our book. This is what they say about it in a quote. The change formula is a framework for managing change that states that the strength of our dissatisfaction with the current situation, combined with a compelling vision, first steps, and believability, must be greater than our resistance in order to have change. It's a lot of words in there, so we're going to look at the actual formula, but that's essentially what it says. Now, it's a literal formula, so it's going to look like math. And first my brain was like, no, but they define each of these terms. So change we have over here. This is what we want. And unfortunately, mostly we have a lot of this resistance to change. So whether it's you see a big problem, like the political system, and you think like, oh, what am I going to do about that? So your resistance might be helplessness. Or your resistance is, well, what I have is kind of working. I don't want to break that apart. Whatever your resistance is, know that it is normal. It is natural to have resistance, and that's okay. And we have to step out of the known and into the unknown, face this possible lack of control, possible failure, in order to achieve what we're looking for. All of that is rooted in fear, all of our resistance, and that's okay. We just acknowledge it. Again, if you want to figure out what is it that I'm resisting, you might ask yourself, what do I risk if I do change? If I stop doing what I'm doing now, what am I risking? There you go. You'll find your resistance. It's right in there. Okay, well, if we can address the resistance, which, I encourage you to journal on, talk about, look at the beliefs. And the great part is, if you can't manage that, there's a whole other part of this formula. There's a whole other part here. And we look at this symbol. That's that big alligator. Big alligator. That means it's a greater than symbol. So this all needs to be greater than our resistance. No problem. So what is this that needs to be greater? Well, this one we don't usually like. We don't usually like, but I'm going to reframe that. That's our dissatisfaction. We don't like that we're dissatisfied. However, if we can see our dissatisfaction, I don't like that. That didn't work for me. See it as an opportunity and momentum. It's literally the catalyst. We usually don't change something we like. So you got to not like it a little bit. You got to be a little dissatisfied. Sometimes you got to be really dissatisfied to be like, all right, forget it. I'm going to do it myself. Right? So when you get dissatisfied by something, instead of thinking, oh, great, think, ooh, how is this helping propel me forward? All right, I see you, Spirit. I see what you're doing here. Okay, thank you. Thank you. It's hard to thank Spirit for our dissatisfaction sometimes, but it is the momentum. Now, we times it by something else. So it multiplies. Our dissatisfaction is multiplied by our vision. What you want. So if you don't like being motivated by dissatisfaction, try being motivated by a vision of what you'd like instead. Get really clear about how you want to feel, what you'd like to see, what you'd like to do. Get motivated by that vision of difference because they amplify each other. And the bigger one is, the other one doesn't have to be so big. Still doesn't hurt, but it doesn't have to be so big. And then if we can add, you just add a few first steps. That might be a meditation. It might be an acknowledgement. It might be a shift in a thought. It might be making a phone call. I don't know what your first step is. But if you can add more vision and a first step, you are adding so much to this side of the equation. And when this side gets bigger, change is inevitable. Change is inevitable. So look at the power that we have already. We can notice the dissatisfaction. We can create a bigger vision, and we can take first steps. We can also take a look at our resistance if you want. If you like. But there is so much power we have to affect that change. I think this is really empowering. What are you missing? When you think about that thing you want to change, what is it you need more of here? Do you need to be a little more frustrated? No judgment. Do you need more vision? Do you need to take just a few first steps? Do you need to reduce some resistance? Whatever you need, you are capable of, and you have that support. So I am asking you to take a look at how much you can be that change agent. To remember that we are co-creators with the divine. And when we commit, we acknowledge our innate power to shape reality. We are not passive recipients of problems. We just don't sit by and accept that new problems happen and they're just given to us. Instead, we're going to be participants in the healing and transformation. That's why you came here. It sounded like a fun mission. I know we forgot that, but it was supposed to be fun. And we had ideas of all these things we wanted to change and do and experience and play with. Just felt a little heavy, but it's supposed to be fun. We are invited now to live with a greater sense of purpose and ability and to know we have this capacity. So I encourage you to reflect on what's missing. See what you'd like to change. Get clear. Notice that dissatisfaction. Think about what's needed. Enhance your vision. And think, maybe is there one step, one thing that I can do to do my part that fits with me. Listening always for that whole body yes. And remember, you are not only here for a reason, you have everything you need within you to make this happen. So together, to close it out, let us do our affirmation if it feels good to you. Together, I commit to being the resolution or solution that is needed, seeing what is missing in the world as an invitation to become that which is required. You got this. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Kayla. Awesome. And as we hold these visions and thoughts in our minds as thoughts and prayers that make the changes in life. What an awesome talk for us today. Thank you so much, Kayla. And now's the time in the service where we'll gather your tithes and offerings and hold them in your hand, as in many ways that we appreciate and support of the ministry, and in many ways in which you can make a donation. We are abundantly grateful. Going to appear up on the screen as those for attending service. Our ushers will be coming around here shortly and passing the tithing bowl. Anybody got any spare change? There's a little church in the back there. That's our building fund. Drop your spare change in that as we grow for the building of a new sanctuary. And so, congregation, take your gifts in your hands, and we'll do this together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. And so it is. Mahalo ke kua. And now we have a little more music with the Empower video and slides. And thank you again, Kayla, for putting this together. And we'll move forward. Thank you.
See, till change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. We cannot change the world we see till change begins in you and me. We change the world around us when the change begins within. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. my way. It's time to learn to sway. So let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Patiently, courageously, be the change you wish to see. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within. Let the change begin.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin.
Let the change.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin within.
Let the change begin.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin.
Let the change.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin within.
Let that change. Let that change begin.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin.
Let that change begin.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin within.
Let that change begin.
Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin. Let the change begin within.
Let's all let the change begin. Awesome song. That was great. And now as our ushers are coming forward, we're going to bless these offerings. Coming up on the board here. And so let's do this together. For through Spirit, we know that as we give, so shall we receive. We dedicate and consecrate these gifts to do your will and your work in this center, in our lives, in our community, and so it is. Mahalo ke kua. Thank you, God. Next Sunday, our guest speaker again is Reverend Sophia. Her topic will be the conscious life, celebration of the spiritual transformation and empowerment that comes from embodying all 15 commitments with the focus and the practical applications for daily living. Music next week will be Namanu Mele. The ladies will be coming back, a beautiful group of a cappella singers. And so, is it a cappella or they got music next week? Okay, yeah, all right, we got it. You got all kinds of things going on with your music, Elaine. But we honor you, absolutely. Thank you for coming in and doing that. And in closing, I'd like to ask you to please feel free to tell your friends and family about this event here, Unity of Kona. We broadcast live every Sunday on Facebook, Unity of Kona Facebook page, YouTube, and Twitch. So you can recount any of the services we do on Facebook and YouTube. And so as we now make a circle behind the cameras, we'll get together and do our closing songs. Let there be peace on earth and aloha oi. Oh, we have some music for this. Okay, cool. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. And as we look forward to making these changes in life, for everything's for the better, everything's for the good. It's God's greatest good in our lives. With the little things, big things can happen. We'll come together next week, so we'll close with Aloha Oi. Aloha Oi, Aloha Oi, He ke ona ona no no ikali ipo, one fond embrace, aloha he ao, until we meet again. Ahui ho. Until we meet again, my friends. Thank you for joining us here on a beautiful Sunday morning. Catch us same time, same channel.